Hey guys and gals, it's your buddy Drew from Living History's Mysteries and Ferocious Feline Productions. For those of you that have been with me and the channel for a while, you know how fascinated I am with the strange, unusual, mystic, cryptic mysteries that history left us to try to solve. The other night, the wife and I were sitting down and we were watching The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. And it got me thinking, how often are curses brought up throughout history? How often were curses blamed for the ill happenings of people involved? So I decided to look into that, and you wouldn't believe how many times, how many hundreds of times curses were blamed. We don't have time to look at hundreds, but we have time to look at a few. And these may surprise you. Check this out. This is good.
In this video, we explore history's most notorious curses of all time. At number 5 is the curse of Tippecanoe. Did Native American leader Tecumseh curse President William Henry Harrison after Harrison's troops emerged victorious at the Battle of Tippecanoe? Perhaps, as historians have noted ever since Harrison became president in 1840, every person elected to the office in 20-year intervals has died while serving as president. Harrison died of pneumonia after just 1 month in office. Abraham Lincoln, elected in 1860, was assassinated, as were James A. Garfield, elected in 1880, and William McKinley, elected in 1900. Both Warren G. Harding, elected in 1920, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, elected in 1940, died of natural causes in office, while John F. Kennedy, elected in 1960, was assassinated. Ronald Reagan, elected in 1980, was the target of an assassin's bullet in 1981, but he survived and the curse was lifted. At number 4 is the curse of the Hope Diamond. French merchant Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, according to legend, stole a 115-carat blue diamond from the eye of a Hindu idol in India. For this sacrilege, Tavernier was supposedly mauled to death by dogs. But in reality, he sold the gem to King Louis XVI of France in 1669 and retired a wealthy man. All went well until the diamond fell into the hands of King Louis XVI and his wife, Marie Antoinette, who were beheaded during the French Revolution. After Lord Francis Hope of England inherited the diamond, he married an American showgirl. The pair squandered their fortune, sold the diamond, and were eventually reduced to poverty. After Evelyn Walsh McLean bought the stone in 1912, her son was killed in a car accident, her daughter committed suicide, and her husband left her for another woman. He eventually ended up in an insane asylum. The Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History bought the Hope Diamond in 1958 and hasn't suffered from owning it. But a truck hit the postman who delivered the jewel. He survived. His wife and dog died not long after, however, and his home caught fire. At number 3 is The Curse of the Polish King's Tomb. In 1973, a group of archaeologists opened the tomb of the 15th century Polish king Casimir IV Jagiellon in Krakow, Poland. The European media hyped up the event, and the researchers involved allegedly joked that they were risking a curse on the tomb by opening it. When some of the team members began to die shortly after, some media outlets speculated it was due to a curse. Later, experts discovered traces of deadly fungi inside the tomb that can cause lung illnesses when breathed in. This might have been the cause of their deaths. At number 2 is The Curse of Tima's Tomb. A warlord and nobleman who controlled a vast swath of Asia during the 14th century, Timur, also known as Tamerlane, was renowned as a military tactician whose warfare killed around 17 million people. He was also a celebrated patron of architecture and the arts. However, in 1941, Joseph Stalin sent a team of archaeologists to open Timur's tomb in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, much to the alarm of local residents and Muslim clergy. Upon opening Timur's coffin, the team discovered an inscription: "Whoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." Within a matter of hours, Adolf Hitler's troops invaded Russia. An estimated 26 million people died as a result. In 1942, Stalin ordered Timur's remains to be reinterred back in Samarkand in accordance with Islamic tradition. Shortly thereafter, the German army surrendered at Stalingrad, ending their campaign against the Russians. At number 1 is The Mummy's Curse. According to some reports, the tomb of King Tutankhamun was guarded by a stone inscribed with the ominous threat, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." Undeterred, Egyptologists Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon opened the tomb to worldwide fanfare in 1922. Shortly thereafter, however, unfortunate outcomes occurred to those who had entered the tomb. Lord Carnarvon died 4 months later while in Egypt from an infected mosquito bite. A few hours after his death back in England, Carnarvon's beloved dog, Susie, let out a yelp and died. Financier George J. Gould died of a fever 6 months after visiting the tomb. Wolf Joel, a South African millionaire, was murdered a few months after he visited the tomb. A.C. Mace, a member of Carter's archaeological team, was killed by arsenic poisoning. Carter's secretary was found smothered in his bed in 1929. However, researchers have determined that of the dozens of people connected with the opening of the tomb, the vast majority lived long and healthy lives. Others have speculated that some of the deaths may be attributed to toxic molds or bacteria that were disturbed when the tomb was opened.
Welcome back. You know, it's like I was saying at the beginning, this whole concept for this video started off by sitting back and watching a movie with my wife before she took off to go to work. I was blown away when I started looking into curses throughout history and how many times curses were blamed for bad things happening. It was literally in the hundreds. What is the story behind curses? Of course, everybody's familiar with the mummy's curse, the bad things that happened to the people that were involved in unearthing King Tut's tomb, and how science has explained that it was not a curse, it was a a fungus or a spore that cause these people to get sick and die? What about the people who died from car accidents, or the dog just mysteriously dying, or a house burning down, or yes, it's easy to explain how one or two of several people died. What about the curse of Tippecanoe? There's no debating how bad things happened to our presidents every 20 years. What's the truth behind curses? Magic is supposed to be earthborn, of the earth. So isn't a curse that uses naturally occurring things like a mold or a spore or something like that, isn't it still a curse? And isn't it still magic? But that's all we got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this look back at historic curses from history. Just one more occurrence that proves things shouldn't be taken lightly. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. And we'll see you out there.